Okay.
Okay.
Okay, let's open up the committee meeting of the Bluewater Park Local Advisory Committee meeting at 7:30 p.m., which is actually 8:10 p.m. We kind of knew this was going to happen. And the first item of approval of agenda, introduction of late items. Are there any, Steph, for anybody else?
I don't have any late items. That there might be an updated presentation attached later.
Okay. So if that's the case, recommendation that the Bluewater Park Water System Local Advisory Committee approve the agenda for October 26th, 2022 meeting. All in favor, raise your hand. I'm up. I can't see anybody else.
Yeah, me.
Yeah, you got it. Mm-hmm.
Got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks,
So that
Kevin.
passes. Good. Okay, adoption of minutes of the July 12th, 2022 Bluewater Park Local Advisory Committee meeting. I had another read through it. I believe Jerry, Chana, Jonathan, did you have another look at it? Are you fine with it?
Yep, all good with me.
Yeah.
No inputs there. Thank you.
Yeah, it all looked good. So that's the minutes of the Bluewater Park Advisory Committee meeting held July 12th, 2022 to be adopted. We got all in favor for that.
Yep.
Good. Now we'll open up for any public comments where the public comment is an opportunity for members of the public to comment regarding items on the agenda or any other comments or issues that may be wish to bring to the committee's attention. Note, this meeting was preceded by the community information meeting, whereas members of the public were invited to speak anyway. So is there anything opening it up to the floor to the public that would like to say something?
No.
Nothing?
No.
Okay. Okay. Scrolling down, we're moving quickly. Item number 4, business arising from the minutes. Kristen, implementation of meter rates. I'll let you take over here to give us another bit of a brief description of what we wanted to implement tonight.
Certainly. We did a little bit of analysis work on the proposed metered rate bylaw that we had brought forward to the community meeting and the subsequent LAC meeting back in July earlier this year. We took the time to actually measure current year consumption, take a look at the differences between the summer versus the winter consumption patterns, and realized that we needed to fine tune the metered rates a little bit to make sure that we didn't come up short when we did the billing. Therefore, we do know that the committee and subsequently council approved a revenue budget of $165,000 from Bluewater Park last year. And in order to achieve that revenue target, I'm suggesting that we maintain the current heavily flat rate structure for this year, increase the rates to ensure that we record the budgeted revenue as per approved in the budget to make sure that we do keep up those contributions to reserves. There is about $40,000 budgeted to be contributed to the Bluewater Park Reserve Fund. We don't want to short ourselves on those contributions, and we really want to make sure that we make them as budgeted. So I am suggesting that we maintain the same rate structure and increase the rates from 960 to 1085 this year for connected properties, and from 600 to 675 for the non-connected properties. And in the coming weeks, we will continue to refine those metered rates that we have suggested and develop a new bylaw given the information that we've taken in on consumption patterns, and come back early in the new year with a new metered rate structure for consideration by the LAC and by council for 2023. So there are a couple of recommendations in the report that I wrote, and I would recommend that the LAC go ahead and make those recommendations to council with regards to the rates for 2022.
Okay. And I believe, Jerry, you had brought up a bit of a concern a number of months ago that based on the 960 versus now what you're telling us, Kristen, of moving it up to 1085, there was some sidebar concerns that we might have been shortchanging ourselves a little bit. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jerry, but we did have some of those conversations just to make sure that we wouldn't be coming up short here after we did implement this. So this is a good analysis just to price check for us, Kristen.
Yeah, I did some analysis based on average rates that Annette had given me a few months ago for 2021. So obviously I haven't got Kristen's numbers for 2022, but I felt we were. I worked out on the 2021 hybrid rate. I noticed that taking the 97 imperial gallons a day average per connection for the summer months, the metered months, and 72, I think it was, or 75 imperial gallons a day average for the non-metered 8 months. And using the rates that Kristen, you'd given us back in July, it came out to pretty much $960. So we were sort of breaking even based on the averages.
Yeah.
Now, when you were talking earlier about 2022 consumption and not meeting the rates you proposed, hybrid rate or consumption rate, not meeting the budget required, I thought to myself, well, that's based on a few months of stage 4, which we are hoping to avoid in the coming years. So I think that adds impetus to your comment that the unit rates that you had in July need to be bumped up a little bit.
Yeah, it would exacerbate the problem if
Yeah.
there was suddenly.
So yeah, we're on the same page.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Shauna, Jonathan, do each of you have any comments in regard to what Kristen has presented here for the metering rates?
For the meter rates or the flat rate? Didn't we vote on this in March meeting? You asked
July.
For you did. You approved the budget increase from 145 to 165. What we never put forward at that time was the rate bylaw that would support that increased revenue. So we're kind of coming up behind us and we're kind of playing catch up now and approving it now before we do the billing.
But then you did bring forward this new metered rate bylaw in the July meeting that we did vote on for our approval.
The LAC committee voted recommending to council that we implement that bylaw in the current year. And just based on research and a little bit of analysis, that probably would not be a good idea to do that this year. So I'm suggesting that we defer that until January 1st, given the new information that we have.
Right. So it's essentially the same, a little bit more money per year, but implemented January 1st, 2023 versus kind of immediately what we talked about in July.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. Does that answer your question, Jonathan?
It probably does. So we're not voting on this year's increase to 1,085.
You are, yes.
We
Yes,
are. So that is what we're voting on. We're not voting on the metered thing. We're voting on this increase.
Correct.
Which is why my question was, I thought we had voted on this previously. That's all back in March.
Well, and we're voting on the new volumetric metering rate system, the new system.
Are we?
Next year. So when you approve the budget, you you approve the expenses, and inherent in that, you're approving the revenue target that's established in that budget. So back in May, or sorry, before that, back in April, that was approved.
Right.
What needs to come behind, and usually they're done together because we had time to do the work. We didn't have time to do the work back in the spring. So we We only approve the budget figures. We need
Right.
to, the LAC needs to
Yeah.
recommend to council to adopt a new rate bylaw, which
Right.
will establish the rates that we charge in order to meet that revenue target.
Got it.
For 2022, Kristen, for this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So nobody's received their water bill yet.
Yeah.
They typically do it in the first 2 weeks or 3 weeks of October. We can now do that once we get council to adopt a new rate bylaw. So it'll be a couple more weeks because they need 2 meetings to do that. And we'll be able to do that by the end of November.
So us putting it off won't defer our water bill though.
No, no,
Thanks, Jerry.
gotta pay the piper.
Chana, do you have any comments?
Yeah, similar to Jonathan, I thought this was agreed to, so it's good to see us catching up on the structure. Thanks, Kristen.
Okay. Does everybody want me to read the verbiage, or has everybody read through it already for the recommendation?
Can you read it?
Okay. Recommendation, whereas a new metered rate bylaw has been proposed for the Bluewater Park local service area, and whereas staff has analyzed the effects of the proposed rates on property owners and budgeted annual revenue requirements for 2022. Therefore, be it resolved that the Bluewater Park Local Advisory Committee recommend to council that the proposed meter rate structure be effective January 1st, 2023, and that council direct staff can communicate the plan changes to property owners. And be it further resolved that council amend Bowen Island Municipality Bylaw number 539, 2021 to increase base rate charges to $1,085 for connected properties and $675 for unconnected properties effective for the 2022 calendar year.
Got it.
A mover?
Yes, we're in favor.
In favor? Myself, Jerry.
Yes, I did. Yep.
Yep, I'll carry unanimously.
Okay,
Thank you.
great.
Thank you.
Okay, 4.2 water system replacement improvement plan, next steps. Patrick.
Not really sure what we're able to recommend or what you're able to recommend as an LAC when we require borrowing in order to advance any phases of this project. Good.
I can maybe help you out here on this. So what I did was, and I'm not sure if the other committee members have had a chance to read their emails before the meeting today. I got bogged down quite a bit by residents calling me and chats with others and that a lot of water system stuff. But I was able to cobble together an alternate resolution for the LAC meeting because even Liam and I talking that there was a lot of information that was presented tonight. You did an outstanding job, Patrick, of presenting that to the community, and you got a lot of comments and involvement from the community. So thank you very much for that. It was a great presentation to bring it down to a level for people to understand really well. And I know you're a really technical guy and you live and breathe it. But definitely there is a lot of support on what you put forward there of the information to help better understand for them to potentially vote on where they want to go with this here in the next little bit. But that being said, that's a lot of information for the community to absorb in one evening. And I can't see us recommending to go full steam forward. There was some comments to do that. Not sure your take on this. Are you still on, Liam?
Yeah, I'm still here, Rob.
Yeah. So what was your take and feel tonight? Because my feel is there was a couple of people that were full steam ahead, but I got a feeling that there's other people, based on comments that we've received behind the scenes over the last couple of days, that we will be sharing with you, that there still is a number of concerns out there. So what I'm proposing is a bit of a different wording for the resolution to give us a couple of more follow-up community meetings, whether it's one more, two more, but on a fast track. Because me personally, I don't want this dragging on for another 6 months. I think we can pull this together in the next month or two to get that answer before year end, so that we can put it in front of the community in some form of a referendum.
What would be, I guess what's most urgent is relating to dealing with Bowen Bay's well one. And as I mentioned, it's our preference would definitely be to advance the upgrade work. We're meeting with Bowen Bay shortly. In November, they're going to want to know, why haven't we advanced this? We need to get this done right away. It's our key infrastructure. What form of we need some form of support from Bluewater LAC to advance that. I'm not sure how it works, because agreeing to advance it kind of means you're agreeing to the project, and that's beyond what Bluewater Reserves has available. So
right, so we still have to go in front of the community for some sort of a referendum to get to approve it no matter what, right?
Yeah.
So, and like I said, that was a lot of information for them to absorb tonight, for us to step forward and make that decision tonight. I think it's a bit of a stretch. Am I on the right wavelength, Jerry, Jonathan?
No, I agree. I'm not ready. I mean, I've got I've got concerns that haven't been addressed, that I think we need to talk as a committee or alone to work out. Obviously it'd be easier if we just met as a committee, and then come back to you with.
Rob, I looked at the notes that you sent me this afternoon, and I had nothing to change. I think that's the excellent suggestion. So
yeah,
I like what you wrote.
Okay, so I can share that with you, Steph, Patrick, Liam, and that. The other part of that resolution is also, I believe this report or this meeting minutes will be going in front of council potentially November, their November 14th meeting. And that gives the new council and mayor an opportunity to kind of delve into it as well too. So that was kind of the other thought of it. But the other angle that I picked up in the meeting information that you were going through tonight, Patrick, is that there's going to be some upfront design work that needs to be done. Is that something, what kind of costs are you looking at here? Is that something that we could potentially vote on tonight, just to start moving some of the initial stuff forward for you to get working on a better presentation of what this is all going to entail?
Well, and that's kind of what I was getting at, is that certainly that would be helpful to advance this work. One of the things, and so I think in my presentation it said 22,000.
Like that, yeah.
We actually have some additional costs to get precision pumps out to actually pull those pumps and determine some of the details. So it's closer to 30,000. And that would be part of the phase one cost, the 260,000 for those pump upgrades to advance the project. That's within Bluewater's reserve fund capacity and doesn't necessarily require borrowing. The point I was making earlier is it's kind of you agree to spend that money, is that kind of essentially agreeing to the project.
And to Jonathan's point, I think we at least as a committee need to have a sit down discussion to say, okay, where are we going as a committee to present this forward to you? So and we can do that that quite quickly. And
Rob,
then we'll, yep.
Just quickly on timing, we're not likely to hit the November 14th meeting.
Okay.
So the soonest would be the following one on the 28th, if
Yep.
not December. As you can imagine, we have a lot of other administrative priorities to address on the 14th with the new council. So
Okay.
we won't be loading them up with this one just yet.
No, but
Allison, want to say something?
Well, my question was a little bit along the one that Rob just raised about the very last page of Patrick's presentation was the 22,000 needed to advance the assessment and design for the upgrades, but it's a bit of a chicken and an egg. But how, you don't know how serious the Bowen Bay well, I mean, how fast do you have to move in order to fix their well system? I mean, those pumps need to be pulled to see what's really going on down there.
Yeah, well, that's something that there is a bit of money that needs to be spent to confirm exactly what we're dealing with. There's no pump set records for the Bowen Bay well 1 or well 2, I believe. So yeah, we need to, and it's hard to get precision pumps scheduled. You know, so we'd like to give them a, you know,
everybody these days
a purchase order so that they can come out in 3 weeks' time or something like that.
Yeah.
Whenever they're able to get out here.
Pulling the pump, John may kill me for this. Pulling the pump for well 1 is part of maybe what may be just a plain repair of that pump cost.
Well, it may be that it's able to be repaired, right? And that it's not necessarily needing to be full replacement.
Yeah.
Why
So-
wouldn't that come out? Why wouldn't Bowen Bay be paying for that?
Well, they would. It's
So pulling the
would like-
pump, see its status is maybe a Bowen Bay cost, but all the costs to figure out what size pump you need and everything else, if you want to do the integration, is a Bluewater cost.
Right, but I mean,
yeah,
if they repair the pump, again, that's a Bowen Bay
Yeah.
thing. So if you want to hire the guy to come out and look at it, go ahead, because Bowen Bay's going to pay for it, right?
well, yeah, that we would like to integrate that with the you know, assessment and design leading to the upgrade. Right, that would be the most efficient way to do it. If there isn't a way, then you know, then that's what we'll have to do. We'll just have to.
I have to go, folks. I apologize, but thanks for a good meeting.
Thanks, Liam.
Rob, why don't we suggest that we meet as an LAC in the coming days and give some indication as to whether we're prepared to proceed with the $22,000 needed to get started. I don't agree that that necessarily implies that we're committed to the whole project. If something goes sideways, I believe that the Bluewater LAC could say, well, obviously, you know, that's money gone down. We already lost a chunk of money on dry wells and so on. So I don't, in the interest of getting going, I think we need to meet as an LAC and in the next few days and get back to you with an answer.
Yeah.
So
That work,
your
Rob?
pesky counselor representative or liaison here. Decisions and discussions that advance decision-making have to be done in an open public meeting. You're a committee of council. So from a proper process, you guys need to get staff to set you up another meeting, which everybody would hear the reasons, pros and cons of the thought process.
Right.
I can't see that there's anything confidential that would fit under the community charter.
Yeah.
Those meeting rules.
That's true.
So anyhow, you want to have a meeting yourselves, don't tell us about it.
No,
or the general?
no, we don't do that.
Yeah.
So where that puts us right now is we could either today vote for a recommendation to move forward on a $22,000 to $30,000 advancement to at least start the design analysis process as one step, or we think about it and then we have another meeting to better define that. And I think just even with the overall global phase 1, phase 2, and beyond kind of thought process here that you put in for recommendations, I think we need a few days just to think about this, Patrick, Allison, just to get our heads wrapped around it a bit more, to come back and then provide a proper recommendation at that point.
So do you want Steph to set up another meeting where we will have a public discussion and you can share your thought process?
I think so. Yeah, and it doesn't have to be long. It can be a very quick meeting. We've had our time to collect our thoughts, and then provide some go forward on where we want to go with this.
Okay, how about next Thursday? Yep. 6. Do you
Fixed? No.
as the LAC, do you need to meet in the evening or can you meet during the day?
For the most part, I'm pretty flexible for myself.
Okay, what about Thursday at 2?
The 3 p.m. or the 3rd, October or November 3rd.
Thursday, November 3rd at 3 p.m.
Yep.
Not for Jonathan?
I work during the day.
No, it's trying to be your lunch break. Excellent way to relax. Okay, I took one shot, but
okay.
Oh, Shanna, no daytime for you?
Not next week.
Okay.
What are your thoughts, Chana? What are your thoughts?
5 o'clock right after work or something?
Oh,
That's fine with me.
5 p.m. Thursday, November 3rd.
Sure.
Shanna, yes. Jonathan, yes. Jerry,
Yeah, I'm good.
you're good. And what about Michael?
I'll check with Mick just to see if he can make this one work. He is traveling, I know that, but he should be able to dial in.
Okay, 5 p.m. Thursday, November 3rd.
Okay.
I'll buy stocks and doodle.
Okay. We're not trying to put you off, Patrick. We just there's a lot of information, and admittedly it's gone through a lot of iterations over the last couple of weeks, so it's just a lot for us. And like I said, we've had a lot of feedback from the community of concerns. We just need to take all that into account so that we can then form a better picture for you in the step forward. Me personally, the phased approach that you're talking about, I'm quite in favor of. I like what I'm seeing here from a personal point of view, but again, it's us as an LAC that needs to vote on it as a team. Okay.
And Rob, can I ask if you have alternative wording to the recommendations that have been proposed on this agenda?
Mm-hmm.
Mind sending them to me in advance
Yep.
so we can have it on the agenda and people can.
I can do that. I will.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Okay. That's it.
Jerry, Chana, Jonathan, are you happy with how we're kind of stepping this right now?
Yep, I am.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sort of in the same boat, maybe as the public. I'm still, there's a lot there, and there's a lot, I mean, for me, there's still a lot of unanswered questions. That's why I wanted to meet and get them answered, both financial and framework.
Yeah. So
it might help if those were summarized so that Kristen would have a chance to think about them beforehand with Patrick.
yeah.
I wanna put her on the
Or
spot.
send them in.
Yeah. So what we'll do is we'll gather our thoughts together and get it out to you beforehand so that any additional follow-up questions can be then clarified for us to make those recommendations in the next week meeting.
Okay.
Interestingly enough, when I read through 18 years of minutes, LACs used to meet almost monthly back in the mid 2000s, just as an FYI to you, Steph.
Yeah, because they were just little baby municipality then. Now we're all grown up, so we have all this staff to do things.
And Allison sat in on a lot of those. I'm trying to
we used to
That's why
contract,
my hair's all gray.
Yeah.
but we used to contract with external contractors to deliver the water system. So
Yeah.
I think there was a lot of knowledge transfer that needed to happen to
Well,
for us to take them on in-house.
your name was on a lot of minutes as well.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a good thing.
Rob, I was thinking it'd be nice if you took all of that history that you studied and wrote a little, maybe a novella.
For the next long
Maybe
flight.
Yeah, small history of.
Yeah, so that was reading minutes on the train ride from Montpellier back to Paris, and then from the flight from Paris back to Vancouver on Sunday.
Way to ruin a trip.
And I did copy out snippets. I've shared it with LAC members already. So I've created a summary of the kind of the history of through the minutes over the years. And of course, brought out that's where I found that we've had 13 leaks since 2004 kind of scenario. So yeah, it's been a helpful exercise to go through that.
Wow, if you were willing to share that, I would love to.
Oh yeah,
that, Rob.
Yeah, and I've already mentioned to Liam, and I'll clean it up a little bit more. And I tried not to take anything out of context, that kind of thing, so that it's just pulled out of the minutes and just for all to see what transpired over the years on the important stuff. So, or the things that stood out. So, and I'm also trying to compete with Allison now for historic knowledge.
Okay.
Shanna's got his hand up.
Yeah.
Shanna.
Hi all. So I think what we can do as an LAC is to categorize these questions and organize them, because I think there's a series of them. I know I have some fundamental questions just to make sure that we're comfortable with. Overall, I'm supportive of the direction we're moving in, and I did like. I couldn't recall who said it during the meeting earlier. Around having the fortune to be able to access water is something to think about and reflect on. However, I mean, I'm a little uncomfortable with some of the statements that are made on the engineering side of things in terms of future considerations. And we're going to build all this infrastructure for a system that people are saying should support future potential. I'd like some confidence around that number, and those sorts of statements. There's a lot of wiggle statements in the urban systems report, and even Patrick, I think you did a great job, but I think we're looking for some confidence in expenditures of 6.5 million to 8 million, and then plugging into a system that 10, 15 years from now might not support it. So we just need to, I think that for me, that's the fundamental question.
Yeah.
And when I dug back into the historic documents on Geological Survey of Canada and others that they've done their work here, it's all recommending an aquifer, an examination of the quantity of water that's available in our aquifers. Thank you.
Yeah. So I mean, there was work done on that front in 2019 and then in 2020, and we're reviewing again with the updated information that we've got and operational experience. When you say we need additional confidence, I guess I'm not too sure what that looks like what more we need to do on that front to provide the confidence.
I think we'll come back with some questions. Trevor and I have kind of gone back and forth. Trevor Hodges and I have gone back and forth. I mean, the urban systems report does present a deficit in future supply on one of the numbers. So I just don't quite understand that. I need some help with that. But again, it's not comprehensive, Patrick, in terms of that. So we'll put our questions forward and be very specific about it, and then we're just looking for that. Because you're asking, there's a solution that's being proposed essentially it's a distribution system, but we're asking about the quantity and the sustainability of the quantity of that system.
Mhm.
And I think that's a fair question to that the whole community is going to ask about. What are the assumptions that go into climate change assessments? What are the assumptions going into the requests that everyone is putting forward around water conservation and any other the general assumptions? I always ask the question of engineering reports. What are the assumptions in here? I think we just need to get those all very clearly laid out.
Yeah, and we alluded to that a little bit in the community meeting tonight, Shauna. I was trying to bring that out for what you and Trevor had been identifying. So we'll and really good work on yours and Trevor's part for that, and that'll kind of provide a bit more of a clear picture to you, Patrick, when we present it with the information extracted out for you to dig into it a bit more for us. So we'll get working on that for you. We're here to help, and we've been saying that all along, is we're here to help and help build the story for all to understand even better, to move whatever stage forward.
Rob, you put it very well, and that's the truth, Patrick. Like we just see that like there's one question that needs to be asked, but it opens up a door to some other opportunities that may present themselves through the work that's been done. We just need those lines kind of just T's crossed and I's dotted, and that'll help move the majority of the public across the line here. And then we can start talking about the next phases of the project, which is, okay, what are the funding options, But I think just first fundamentally understanding, going back to our OCP objective number 6, I always ask this question: have we over committed ourselves on the water availability? So we just need to answer that question. Thank you.
And in talking with Liam personally today, I brought up that we also got to watch out. We're not becoming, and it's great that we're delving into the technical aspect of it, but we as LAC members are also more on here for strategic and the overall, and the muni and the staff and the consultants are supporting the technical part of it, but us asking the overall questions of this, not delving into it too technical, is going to bring those out to provide that comfort level for us. So that's what we're looking for, Patrick, and not that we're trying to do your job or anything. We're just trying to tease out those last little bits of comfort questions for us to be answered. Good. So is that it, Steph?
That sounds like it.
Okay, so
I will not be doing any admin tonight. Tomorrow you'll get your invites.
Okay. Good. And I owe you some old historic paperwork too that I'm going to try and scan for you tomorrow.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Yep. Finally getting around to that. So
excellent.
It's not a lot. It's not a lot. It was from Adam Holbrook, and it was mostly stuff that's up online anyway. So I'll just do another go through for it for you. Okay.
Perfect. Thanks a lot.
Okay.
Goodbye,
Rob,
everyone.
Just before we go, a big thank you to Steph, Allison as our rep, Patrick. You did a great job, Liam, in his absence. Just want to thank everyone for all of the
Patrick
good work
and Kristen.
And Kristen, sorry, Kristen, thank you.
I second that.
And interesting, you did have Mayor-elect watching behind the scenes tonight. I don't know if anybody noticed.
Yeah, he was there.
Yep. So, yeah.
Well,
So that's great.
Getting up on the current issues, so that's great.
yeah.
It'll make
Yeah,
our
that's
job
good.
easier to.
Definitely, and so anything that we can help new mayor and council along just by clarifying things, and that's to all of our best interests as well, and we're here to help. So let's continue working together hard here, and it's going to be a busy next few days for us to get something in your hands, so that you've got some time in order to get something together for us for next Thursday to answer those very important questions. And LEC members, I'll reach out to Mick, give him an update as well, so that he can provide his thoughts to us too. Okay.
Oh, he's got to be sitting watching all this, isn't he? Because it's been video recorded.
Yeah, so I'll put that to him. You can watch YouTube videos.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you
And if
again.
there's any polls you're looking for, Rob, let me know because, I was on the Bowen Bay LAC for a while and so I might have, some of information
Okay,
from those files that Adam wouldn't have had.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know that you forwarded some information in the past, and I think Steph's got it as well on just the developer agreement when King Edward Bay a system was handed over by the developer. You forwarded that to me a while ago, about last year or so.
Yeah, that was all the stuff for when they applied to be taken over and some of the reports that went with that. Yeah.
Okay. So.
Okay.
Great, thank you very much, and let's call this meeting to adjournment. And at 8:50, I don't think we went as long as the last meeting, but pretty close. So thanks, everyone. Outstanding job tonight, and looking forward to kind of working this across the finish line in whatever phases in the next little while.